Now, before I give you your homework, I want to be straight with you about something, because there's a pretty interesting argument that's been going on in the SEO world for quite a while, and I think you deserve to hear it. The fabulous Mark Williams-Cook, who has over 20 years of SEO experience and is someone I have a lot of time for, put out a LinkedIn post quite a while back now saying he doesn't recommend writing meta descriptions at all anymore. His testing through SEO testing showed a small but statistically significant uplift in organic traffic on pages with no meta description versus pages that had one. His argument is that Google is doing something you can't do, which is writing a dynamic description tailored to the specific query that someone searched for. If you write one meta description for a page, it has to try and work for every possible search that lands on it. Google can write a different one depending on what someone actually typed in. And he's not alone. Search Pilot did a study showing that with around 90% confidence, removing meta descriptions resulted in more traffic. And on top of all that, Google is now increasingly using AI to rewrite or generate meta descriptions on the fly. So even if you write something you're proud of, there's a real chance that what actually appears in the search results isn't your wording at all. This isn't exactly new. Google's been overwriting meta descriptions for years, but the AI rewriting piece has kind of taken it to another level. So what do I think you should do? If you've got a small business-to-business site and you have the time, I say write them. And here's why. The people doing this research, amazing though they are not working on small B2B service websites. They're working with e-commerce. They're working with retail. They're working with your money, your life type sites, usually. And I've not seen anything in the small tests that I've done that backs this up. That's not to say that Mark and other people are wrong, not in the slightest. Just that I think for a B2B site with 10 main pages and a blog, the risk of Google pulling something you don't want into your meta description isn't worth taking. I've seen it happen so many times. Google picks a tiny little bit of your page that has nothing to do with your meta description. It could be a list of your navigation. It could be a testimonial or a part of a testimonial or some random words that are on your page that don't make sense on their own. It's not going to give you something that someone wants to click on. At least for your main website pages, write the descriptions. Google may ignore them. It may rewrite them. It may generate something completely different using AI, but it definitely won't use them if they're not fucking there. Give Google something decent to work with. It's still better than giving it nothing and hoping the algorithm picks a good paragraph from your page. And for a small site, we're not talking hundreds of pages. We're talking your home page, a handful of service pages, maybe a few popular blog posts. That's a couple of hours work. You can do it. If you've got a massive site with thousands of pages, then this calculation changes and it's probably not worth your time. But that's not most of the people listening to this podcast. And while we're at it, make sure the opening paragraph of your page is decent too. If Google decides to pull text from that instead of your meta description, you want it to pull something that actually makes sense, not in today's fast-paced digital landscape or whatever AI waffle someone published and never edited. I talked about this in episode 18 when we did the content audit, and it's worth keeping in mind here. Coming up, your actual homework.